Scott Drew backed out of the Kentucky job, is going to remain at Baylor, and now Kentucky is finalizing a 5-year deal with BYU coach Mark Pope. Mark Pope was a captain on that 1996 Kentucky team for Rick Pitino. Rick Pitino actually came out in support of Mark Pope being hired. The contract details have just emerged. The 5 years will be worth $5.5 million per year.
The best way to put this in my mind is you got to put it in two different buckets. One, congrats to Mark Pope. I'm excited for Mark Pope. Now, he's going to catch a lot of hell, and it's not his fault, right? He's never won an NCAA tournament game. We watched BYU and what happened in the NCAA tournament this year, but he's had success. He was at Utah Valley, obviously to be able to have a chance to get the Kentucky job. They missed on a lot of guys. They missed on all their top dogs, but that's not Mark Pope's fault. I'm happy for Mark Pope, and I hope he does well. But the problem is his leash is going to be so short, because if he doesn't win early, they'll fire Mitch Barnhart for this. Like, if he screws this up, they'll fire him for it. Like, that's how we know how big basketball is at Kentucky. But if it goes bad early for Mark Pope, like even we saw with Cal, with Kentucky losing games that they shouldn't lose. They lose to an opponent that's a lot lesser than them. All like the finger pointing will stop. Yeah, or will start. It'll be this guy is exactly what we thought he was. We missed on all the top dogs. We brought in this mid coach, whatever. So that's one bucket. The second bucket is this one looks exactly like the Mike Shula Alabama hire. Exactly like the Mike Shula Alabama
Why you say
hire.
that?
Because Alabama missed, right, on some guys. Mike Shula ended up getting the job, but he didn't have the best resume before, but he's a former player, right? A big name within the program, a guy that understands how it's going, but it's not that top level. Look, Mike Shula won 9 games one year. They had good years under Mike Shula. But this feels like the hire before the next big hire to me. What happened? Shula gets fired. They miss on some more guys with Rich Rod. They end up with Nick Saban, right? This just feels like Kentucky really settled because they had to. The question now becomes, did guys not want to follow Cal? Did they just not want to? If I'm Dan Hurley, I get it. Why would I leave UConn? I don't know. Even for all that money. We're dominating. I've got the mix right. He'll have 50% of the GDP out of the state of Connecticut before it's said and done, right? Scott Drew was the one I thought was going to go. That was one that surprised me. He went back, talked to his family. Whenever a coach says, I'm going to pray on it, like we're talking about going back to his place and it's a religious place, he's probably going back there. So Scott Drew, I thought was going to get it. You know, Bruce Pearl was still out there. Rick Pitino was still out there. The Kentucky fans are pissed, buddy. The Kentucky fans are up in arms. I have not seen this Greg Schiano, Tennessee type vibes, you know, in uproar, stop the steal, Auburn football type vibes. This is just down the list. And look, it may work out. You know, Patino's come out, like you said, and supported them. They're circling the wagons. But, man, this just, for the rest of the SEC, you got to feel good, man, because if they'd have got Dan Hurley, oh, hell. You'd have put Dan Hurley at Kentucky? Or Nate Oates at Kentucky? Oh, hell, buddy. Mark Pope? Ooh.
Will it end up being a good hire or bad?
No. He won't last more than 2 years.
2?
2. They'll run him out of this place. What a terrible look for Kentucky.
It is a bad look.
This isn't an Alabama situation where you miss on some guys but got Kalen DeBoer, right? This isn't that. You ain't got a guy who's proved nothing. Last 2 years, lost in the first round to Duquesne. Lost to Duke, and I watched BYU play. Trust me, I'll never forgive number 11.
I'll never forgive
number
50.
Number 50.
Number 50.
You missed every shot.
Don't
lost
ask
to
me for anything.
You lost to UCLA in the first round this year. What was Cal's problem? He couldn't get the places we needed to go with elite talent. Kentucky, from a basketball school standpoint, is falling apart. I don't know if it'll ever be the same.
Really?
I don't think it will ever.
Could this be the step back before the comeback?
I still don't believe, I know we had that guy on here who talked, I still don't believe, all right, that they didn't reach out to Nate Oates. That they didn't, you think they didn't reach out to Nate Oates because of a PR problem? And then you're going to go hire the head coach from BYU? That's a PR problem. That's not going to look good. So I would rather have Nate Oates 1,000%.
Oh, yeah. Nobody's saying that. Yeah.
This, I'll never understand. This is a terrible look.
Well, this is Kentucky. Like, you know what it reminds me of? There's this TikTok of this girl. They're doing like man on the street stuff, and this guy's interviewing people. And this girl's like, yeah, I'm so good looking. Like, I could get anybody here. And he's like, really? You get anybody here? She's like, yeah, I could try and kiss anybody
He
that walks by.
He's rejected
They're gonna wanna
7
kiss
times
me.
in a row.
She tries it and gets rejected like 7 times in a row. Like, this is just what it feels like. And it's just weird because I think Kentucky is the biggest brand in college basketball. I really believe that. Now, you can make an argument for, North Carolina and Duke, Kansas. There's other teams. I'm not saying you can't. But Kentucky getting shut down, it wasn't like one guy said no and they went to the second. They got shut down basically by everyone that they wanted and had to go down and get the almond milk. You know what I'm saying? That's not a BYU jug. It's just, when it comes to levels of milk, almond milk's way down there, for me at least.
It's not even milk.
It's not
as far
even.
as I'm
It's
concerned.
really just almond juice.
How do you get almond from cows?
You better have your NIL in place right now. You better have the name, image, and likeness structure around this guy to be able to go and get the type of players he needs to get.
Yeah, well, the problem too is all this negative PR is going to affect recruiting. Like, don't think these recruits don't sit, and guys that hit the portal that were maybe thinking about coming back, or guys that were maybe thinking about coming back that decide they want to go pro, they see all this negative energy too, and that's going to hurt them. That's going to hurt them a lot. So, look, like I said, it's not Mark Pope's fault. Good for him.
Great for him.
Great for him, right? But at the end of the day, I mean, this is Kentucky, dog.
Yeah, and I agree. If
Basketball.
this doesn't work out, they'll run Barnhart out.
I'm telling you,
They'll
like,
run him out.
this is a Dylan's drum set situation. You don't touch it. Like, you can't screw this one up. Like, I mean, he went from Mitch Barnhart to Mitch McConnell standing at the podium. Like, I'm just shocked, man.
Let's go to Tommy in Kentucky. Tommy,
Yeah.
how you feeling about your new ball coach?
Hey, fellas, it's Tomcat Bobcat here.
What's up, brother?
First time caller, long time listener.
Thank you.
Mark Pope. I'm just, it's kind of frustrating, having all these top choices, and then we wind up with Mark Pope. It's really frustrating, and just want to let y'all know that it feels like BBN over here is pretty frustrated with it, and having Jack Pilgrim on the other day, that was awesome. So appreciate that.
No, dude, Jack does a great job. Tommy, I want to ask you this, man. Obviously, you've got a pulse on how everybody feels, and it's not a huge name, and I want to make sure everybody understands. Again, like, I'm happy for Mark Pope. Mark Pope did nothing wrong. Mark Pope got offered the job by his alma mater, the place that he loves, and he took it. But, like, what on his resume, like, how in trouble is Mitch Barnhart, you think? Like, is he, I mean, if this goes sour quickly, I mean, is he cooked?
Yeah, I mean, that's why I'm sitting here thinking, and I agree with what you all said earlier. 2 years max, and I got nothing against Mark Pope.
I hope it works out, man. I hope he does well.
I do too. Yeah, same. But I just have a feeling that it was a reach, and this was a Barnhart call all on his own here.
Yeah,
Settled.
Well, and my thing too is I feel like this just got rushed after a couple people told you no. Like, just because a few girls at the bar say no, I don't want to dance with you, doesn't mean you just go out and just go blindly kiss somebody that you run into. Like, it's not how it works, especially with the transfer portal now. Hell, you can build your team 3 weeks before the season starts. It's Kentucky. I'm not worried about getting good players there. it just felt forced, man. Why not, if he would have taken the job, go out and just get Rick Pitino again, man? A lot more people would be happy than with Mark Pope.
Yes, I agree completely. How much of this decision also, like, does this have to do with Reed Shepherd trying to keep him around? I mean,
if you're making decisions off one player, then you're screwed.
You're already behind.
Yeah, because I know he played with his dad,
If you're
right?
Reed Shepherd,
Mark Pope played with Reed Shepherd's dad.
Interesting. Okay.
Right? And I think Reed Shepherd's projected lottery pick?
he's top 5 pick.
Yeah, like, I'm gone. Bye, bud. Hey, congrats on the job, but I'm out of here. But if you're making decisions on one player, you don't need to be making decisions. Like, if that's what it comes down to.
I totally agree.
So,
Last thing, just wanted to say you guys are great. And David Cohn, you're class act. I want to throw that out there. So
Thank you,
appreciate
sir.
You guys for taking my call.
Tommy,
Hey,
anytime, buddy.
Hey,
Thanks for
Tommy,
calling
call in more. Appreciate it.
Yeah,
man.
good luck. Good luck. I've got no ill will toward Kentucky. I know how passionate you guys are about your hoops. What's up, YouTube? Hey, do us a favor. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. We really, really appreciate it. And make sure you're keeping up for all the content that we drop.